it is a special educator's job to work themselves out of a job.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's our job to narrow that learning gap and make sure that they reach grade level and or excel and go beyond grade level, because once they hit grade level and they're performing at the same level of their same age peers, then we can exit them from special services and they no longer need the individual education plan that we develop and create for them on an annual basis.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Dr. Jibby Brown. Dr. Brown is the special education supervisor for grades 4 through 8 at Winton Woods City School District in Cincinnati, Ohio. Dr. Brown, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Well, I love the fact that you're in Cincinnati. I told you a little bit before we started that Cincinnati is near and dear to my heart. We had our first child when we were living in Cincinnati 28 years ago. And Ohio, go Buckeyes. My husband will be happy I said that. It's a special place. So tell us a little bit about your role and your career, and maybe a little bit about how you got to where you are.
Wow. Okay. So it's been 33 years as a special educator. My career started in Covington Independent across the bridge because I live in Northern Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah. Mm-hmm.
After about 12 years, I crossed the bridge because I had worked in one school district and I wanted to be professionally relevant and continue to be professionally relevant, and I needed some new information. I needed to find out what methods and strategies other districts were using. So I branched out. I crossed the river, came to Cincinnati. I was in Oak Hills for 4 years as an intervention specialist and gifted specialist because my master's is in the gifted instruction. From there, I went back to school to get my doctorate. I spent 2 years in Gary, Indiana, with Indiana State University at a grant. We were reframing their special education framework.
Wow.
From there, it
Neat.
was one of the best professional experiences I've ever had.
Neat.
And it taught me a lot about structures, taught me a lot about when we make decisions, especially educational decisions, that we need to make decisions for our circle of influence.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that decision is affecting, not just a student, not just a family, not just me, but the entire picture.
That makes
Who is
sense,
it affecting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that was my biggest takeaway, to see how systems work within a school district.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I came back to Cincinnati and became the assistant principal at Margaret B. Rust. I was there for 5 years. And then Winton Woods recruited me.
Nice.
And I've been there for 6 years.
Very cool. Very cool. So why just grades 4 through 8? Is it a really big district? Tell us a little bit about the district.
It's not a big district. However, it's a very diverse district.
Okay.
And that's what I love about it. We have 16 different languages in our district.
Wow.
We have students from all over the world, from all the nations. So that's the beauty of Winton Woods, is that the diversity. As far as grades 4 through 8, my background is mostly intermediate and middle school. I've taught every grade level except 11th and 12th grade, but I specialize in that intermediate and middle school levels.
Okay. So
I have a...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go right ahead.
I have a very strong background in applied behavior analysis, autism, and literacy. So those areas of expertise are very needed in those ages, because we all know grades 6, 7, and 8. That's a stepping stone for kids, especially for teenagers, because they have a lot going on at that time. And so my experience and all my knowledge just helps create a really great foundation for those
Mhm.
kids and
Mhm.
families.
So you're the special education supervisor. So you have um, people that are under you, right? So what are some of the biggest wins that you guys have seen in your department?
Well, I wouldn't say that they're under me. I would say that we're a,
A team?
we're a team.
Yeah. Okay.
I have 3 separate teams,
Okay.
and I work with all the intervention specialists, the principals, the building administrators, counselors, um, therapists. I work with occupational therapists, physical therapists. I work with speech and language pathologists. Um, I think our greatest wins is that if we have a kiddo that goes through that starts at Winton Woods when they're little and they go through Winton Woods till they get to high school, they're very successful because we monitor 3 early warning indicators consistently for all students and their attendance, grades, and discipline.
Okay.
And if any of those are showing at-risk markers, we make sure that we apply strategies, interventions, accommodations, supports to make sure that they're successful. It is a special educator's job to work themselves out of a job
Right. Yeah.
because it's our job to narrow that that learning gap and make sure that they reach grade level and once or excel and go beyond grade level, because once they hit grade level and they're performing at the same level of their same age peers, then we can exit them from
Uh-huh.
special services and they no longer need the individual education plan
Right.
that we develop and create for them on an annual basis.
Right. Right. Awesome. Awesome. Um, so what would you say is some of the biggest challenges that you face right now?
The biggest challenges came from COVID. Um, Being out of school for as long as we were, we have a lot of kiddos that are still catching up socially and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of families that need additional support. So a lot of our families are single parent homes, and they require a lot of support. And we provide a lot of our wins is that we actually have a clinic where parents and families can come and get mental health services. They can get dental services. They can see a medical doctor when they're sick. We provide all nutrition, so the kids get free lunches and free breakfast, um, no matter who they are or their socioeconomic status.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say those are the greatest barriers is that we don't manage traditional families
Mm-hmm.
any. A
Yeah.
lot of our families are they kind of like remind me of the Brady Bunch, you know. Um, so we the nucleus is looks very different.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the greatest things that we have is our embrace of technology. All of our kiddos are assigned school Chromebooks. They take them home with them to extend their learning. We have after school tutoring at the middle school 3 days a week at no cost to the family. We have all of the sports programs that are provided to all of our kids, including students with disabilities.
Nice.
In fact, we have a lot of our girls that are wrestling this school year, and that's been fun to watch them advance throughout the couple of years that they've been in training and
Mhm.
working with the coach. That's been amazing. So I would have to say that the the greatest asset that Winton Woods has is their staff. I work with 3 different staffs in 3 different buildings, and I cannot say enough about these individuals and how hard they work. They show up on snow days when
Yes.
I have meetings and say we're not canceling them. They're there. They log in. Um, they're always supportive of the students, and they're problem solvers. When we have a student that's not being successful, that's the first thing they'll do. They'll come to me and say, "Okay, this is what we're doing. You know, what else can we do
Mhm.
to support this student and this family to make sure that they're successful?" Um, the staff is amazing. And when
You
I say
know
staff, I mean all the 60 people that I work with, and that
Right.
includes gen ed teachers, general education teachers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that you said is so telling of how you lead because you said I don't have people under me. I have a team of people that work with me. And that's so indicative of a leader who understands that you're a servant leader and that the people that work with you and you're not lording over your superior position with them. You're a partner with them for the kids. And that's it. When you have that, the kids win and your teams win, and you end up with really strong teams that work together because people are not afraid to take risks when they feel like they're valued in it. And that is such a beautiful thing to see. We talked about here at Lighthouse conflict resolution and understanding how to be a leader and all of those things in many different ways. And it's something that I've learned to look at in people and go, yep, yep, good leader right there. So kudos to you. I know you're humble and you don't take credit for it probably most of the time, but they're successful because they have you leading them, I'm sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, and you've do it for a long time.
It's
And
been a while.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fossil. Your special educators, they don't stay in the business very long,
Mhm,
because of it's a hard job. Not only do you have to devote all your time to the students, but then the paperwork that you
mhm,
have to complete in order to stay compliant with federal regulations, can be daunting,
mhm.
um,
I'm
especially for new
Oh
teachers.
yeah. Yeah. I'm hopeful that as AI moves forward, because it's not going away. We know technology is not going away.
No, it's not.
I have personally seen some amazing advancements that AI can do to help. Now you have to be careful, and I know that like HIPAA compliance and FERPA compliance, and where you put stuff, and all of that, and I get that. But I've seen, oh my goodness, we use AI specifically for the podcast production. It's a part of how we do the final bit. And it takes a process that would take 6 to 8 hours down to less than two. And thus, so I think that I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that AI, as schools begin to embrace AI, that it becomes a tool that is a positive, not. I mean, there's lots. We can get. We don't need to get into all of it, but I just have seen, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go because I think there are things that AI is going to make our lives easier in some pretty significant ways, hopefully. So,
Yeah, I use AI for one specific purpose, and that's I'm very direct, and sometimes I need to soften
mm,
my message.
mm-hmm.
So I use AI and say, okay, make this not sound so assertive.
Huh? Uh-huh, and it does,
And it
doesn't
does.
it? It does it for
Yeah,
you, which is
it does.
amazing, and it uses words, and you can I mean, my daughter showed me, like, on ChatGPT how you can tell it, like, "Give this is me, this is who I am, this is the things that matter to me, and this is how I think and how, the things that the way that I approach leadership and all of those things." And it's incredible. It's incredible the things that we've seen out of it, and we have an amazing team as well who have just, our technical marketer and the marketing team just have taken AI and ran with it. And I'm blessed. I'm just blessed. It's an amazing time of life to be living, even though it's hard. We know it's hard as an educator. It's still kind of cool. So yeah.
You definitely have to be flexible and adaptable.
Mm-hmm.
Special education is always on a learning curve. It changes sometimes on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to, you know, to roll with the punches
Mm-hmm.
with it. Yeah. So it,
So what with your experience, what um advice would you give to maybe somebody who's new, first of all, in the profession, and then somebody who's thinking about stepping into more of a leadership? Like I've been an intervention specialist for 10 years, and I'm thinking about becoming a special education supervisor. Or there's a position that's opening and I'm considering it. What kind of advice would you give those two groups specifically?
to somebody that wants to enter the leadership role, I would first say to them, make sure that you're okay with not being in the classroom.
Mm,
Um, because even after, let's see, two, 13 years of leadership, I still miss the classroom.
yeah.
I still miss working with the kids because you're always a teacher, whether you're a
Hmm.
leader, you're always a teacher. So make sure that you're ready to leave the classroom.
What if every student could work with a therapist who brings not just credentials, but years of experience and wisdom to the table? At Lighthouse Therapy, most of our therapists have over 16 years of real world experience. We don't just fill seats. Instead, we find therapists who've seen it all and know how to help. And every new therapist is paired with a mentor to help them guide them every step of the way. Whether through virtual, hybrid, or in person delivery, your students are getting services that's thoughtful, experienced, and genuinely human. Visit lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together to learn more.
The second is to remember where you came from. And before you make any judgments or decisions, that you always consider where you came from and what that person is doing, um, before you make any decisions there. The third is that be prepared to work really hard.
Yeah.
Um, and it's I put in 10 to 12 hours a day, depending upon the season, depending upon which month it is,
Hmm.
um, because you always have IEP meetings, individual education plan meetings for the kids. They have to have them every year. So October is a really busy month. November is busy. December is busy, and then you have all the holidays in between there. Um, and the last piece of advice I would give is that don't assume that everybody thinks like you,
Ah, good one. Yeah.
because I have made that error many times, assuming that a teacher knows what I know, or assuming that they're going to handle a situation the way I would. Um, so always make sure that you have those difficult conversations about, okay, next steps. What do we do? What's the best place for us to be at to make sure that this kiddo is successful?
Yeah, and it's amazing how we as human beings just do that. I've seen that. I've made that mistake as well. Just okay, that wasn't what I was talking about. After they've moved forward, it's like Really? Okay, that isn't how sometimes it's okay, people
Yeah.
can approach a problem from multiple different directions, but sometimes it's like, "Oh, wait, no, 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 I missed," and I know when that happens to me, I'm like, I missed communicating something. It's like if I asked you to do something and I didn't communicate it well. If I didn't, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. So and it's important. It's important to know we're all different, but and we all have that uh, our own bias, right? Everybody comes with their own set of bias, and um, personal bias is something that I don't care who you are, you have it. You can't get you can deal with it and deal with it appropriately, but it's always going to be there. It's not something that you can just turn off. So for sure. So, okay, so Dr. Brown, if you could just fix one thing in your world, like magic wand, miraculously never have to deal with that one thing, and it can't be money. We all know schools need more money. What would that one thing be?
In special education,
Yeah, in your career, in your job right now, that you have right now, if you never had to deal with that one thing and just fixed it, it's never going to be a problem again. What would that one thing be?
I would ask every parent to read to their kids over
Mm,
and over and over again. When they're little, put them on your lap.
mm-hmm,
Have them turn the pages to a book. Um, Read over and over and over the same book.
mm-hmm,
Um, Put down your phones.
mm-hmm.
Spend quality time with your family. Have the whole family put down their phones.
Yeah.
But the reading piece, the literacy piece is so important. Making sure that when our kids do come to kindergarten, that they are fully prepared. They know their letters. They they know their number correspondence, that if I show them, can they count from 1 to 2, 2 to 3? Do they know the values as far as, is 4 smaller than 7? Is 7 bigger than 4? Making sure that they have all the ready skills and they're ready to learn and to value education.
Mhm.
I think sometimes if we didn't have a really good experience in education, sometimes we don't value it as much as we need to value.
Yeah.
Um, and always, support your kids. Um, when you have a student with a disability, there's really never a good time to exit from that advocacy part,
Mhm.
and
Right.
that you're always advocating for your child. You show up at all the meetings, even if it's inconvenient, even though, as teachers and as staff, we are obligated to make sure that whenever we schedule a meeting, it is mutually convenient for both parties, but always be there for the student, and know their programming, and don't hesitate to ask questions as a parent. If you don't understand something, which is totally understandable because special education can be very, very confusing at
Mhm.
times,
Mhm.
um, and understand that all we want is to work with you as a team. We we value you as a team member, and when parents are involved and and schools are working side by side, our kids are always successful. That's that number one factor.
Yeah. The number one teacher for any child is that parent. Yeah. That
Yes.
person that they spend the most time with is that parent, and yeah, I get it. I totally
Most
get it.
important job in the world.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And I love the reading part because that's critical. And you don't know how many times I've said that in an IEP meeting. Parents will say to me, "How can I help my child?" I was like, honestly, read to them. read to them, read to them, read to them, read over and over and over and over and over. And it doesn't matter how young they are, it doesn't matter how old they are. We were doing read alouds with my kids in high school. We were still, we did The Hobbit
Yeah.
and The Lord of the Rings and all of those. Watership Down, one of my favorite. My daughter was like,
Oh, well, I
"Why
love
are we
Watership Down.
reading this book?" She did not like it. And it's a little slow to get started. And then we got to the middle of it and she's like, "Oh, this is a really good book, Mom." And I was like, "See?" Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I remember, I think my husband has pictures of me, 4 days old. My daughter was 4 days old when I started reading to her. So sitting in her little bassinet or little car seat. And yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
read to your kids. Absolutely. 1000%. Great, great, great pieces of advice. Absolutely. So where do people go if they want to learn a little bit more about Winton Wood City Schools or about your programs?
They can actually come to our website. They can just type in Winton Woods City School District and visit the website. It has all the schools on there. It has our programming, the fact that we're a tech district. It has all the curriculum on there as far as if you ever thought about sending your child. Um, it explains the technology piece.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right. Well, Jibby, it has been a pleasure to have you on Brighter Together. Keep doing what you're doing. I know the world's and those kids and your team is a better place because of what you're doing. So keep it up and congratulations on doing 33 years. That's really amazing. I'm not quite there. I'm a little bit behind you, but yeah. The other piece of it I didn't say and was the hardest part for me was stopping at once I started Lighthouse was stopping seeing kids because that was, and you're always a teacher. I always identify as a speech therapist first. What do you do? Well, I'm an SLP and I happen to have my own company. It's like, that's like one of those things. I don't just say, well, I'm a CEO, blah, 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 whatever. That's not who I
sure.
am. I'm an educator too. And that's why Brighter Together is so important to me because the world is better and brighter because of what all of the educators do every day, every single day for kids across the United States. And I'm so grateful.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.